Okay, so now let's talk about a new way of saving on your costs on AWS, which is called savings plan. So savings plan are a much simpler way to look at your infrastructure on AWS. Instead of reserving instances, you just commit to spending a certain dollar amount per hour for the next 1 or 3 years. So it's easier than the rest because you just think in terms of dollars and you don't think in terms of specific resource and types and so on. So let me show you the two types of savings plans you have on AWS. The first one is an EC2 savings plan, and this is going to give you up to 72% discount compared to on-demand prices for EC2. And you're going to commit to the usage of the individual instance families in a region. For example, you say, hey, I'm willing to spend $10 per hour for the next 3 years on the C5 type of instances. But regardless of the AZ they're launched in, regardless of the size, so you can choose a C5 XL or a C5 4XL, regardless of the operating system, so Linux or Windows, and regardless of the tenancy, if you want to choose shared or dedicated hosts. You can choose just like dedicated reserved instances to pay everything upfront, partial upfront, or no upfront. And obviously, if you pay everything upfront, you're going to get a bigger discount. And the other types of savings plan is even more flexible. It's called the compute savings plan. And this one is going to give you up to 66% discounts compared to on demand. And this is regardless of the family, the region, the size, the OS, the tenancy, and the compute option. And what do I mean by compute option? I mean that it is applicable to EC2 instances, but also Fargate containers and Lambda functions. So the compute savings plan is really the most flexible, where you don't really think much about what this applies to. You just commit a certain dollar amount per hour and you get discounts based on that. And the last option you have for savings plans is the machine learning savings plan for services such as SageMaker. And how to set up a savings plan? Well, you go into the AWS Cost Explorer console, and it will suggest to you the type of right savings plan that will work for your current infrastructure. And you can estimate the pricing of savings plan at this URL. And so if we go to the savings plan website, we have two kinds of savings plans, this compute and the machine learning savings plan. So for the compute savings plan, we have different ones. So we have compute or EC2 instance savings plan. And here on this UI, you can basically navigate it. So you have for EC2, for Fargate, for Lambda, or for EC2 instances. And then you can modify the region. So the region the relocation type you want, the region you want, the term length, so 1 or 3 years, payment upfront or not, or partial, and so on. And then it gives you a list of available instances. For example, if we take an A1 large, then using a savings plan, we can expect 31% discount over on demand. So this UI is great to estimate all your compute savings plan. And then for machine learning, we have something similar. So they will be added over time, but I won't probably edit this lecture because it's not needed. So right now we have the Amazon SageMaker savings plan, which is enough for us to know from an exam perspective. And we have the region, again, the type and so on. And then besides here, we can take a look at the notebook instances for SageMaker, for example. And if we do decide to run a ML T3 large notebook for a long time, then we can expect savings of 28% over on demand, okay? So if you go and type savings plan in your services search, you go under Cost Explorer, there is the top feature, which is savings plan. And it takes you to this URL. And you can have a look at the fact you can purchase compute savings plan, which is for Fargate, Lambda, and EC2 instances. You have EC2 instances saving plan, just only for EC2 instances. And then SageMaker savings plan, which is the machine learning savings plan. So if you decide to purchase a savings plan, you can choose whatever savings plan type we want. The term commitment, for example, 1 to 3 year. The percentage commitment. So for example, I decide to have an hourly cost of $500 and the payment option, so partial upfront. And this would be a lot of money to front, so 6 million to say upfront. Anyways, you would see the savings plan, upfront cost, the monthly payment, and the total cost. And then if you're ready, you just add it to cart and you would have a savings plan for your infrastructure. So that's it for this lecture. I hope you liked it, and I will see you in the next lecture.